Opoku Array, and also Prempe. Almost all our international competition, we actually conquer everything. That means that we are really doing great. The fact that we still have limited resources.
Interesting. You are the founder and CEO of Firefly IO.
Yes.
What is it? What is Firefly IO?
So Firefly IO is an organization that we are focused on three main things. Our goal is to three main things. One is the main goal is to promote robotics education in Ghana.
Okay.
And we do this in three ways. One is by providing locally affordable robotics kit. That is 3D printed robotics kit. So we are making robotics very accessible, very easy to access, very less for every individual to afford it.
Okay.
And we also provide a STEM and robotics training for companies, schools, organizations.
So the thing you raised is what?
It's a robotics kit. So this is
so viewers,
locally
if you're watching us via Facebook, that's what he's holding.
So it's a locally made 3D printed robotics kit, which was made
Meaning
in Ghana
what?
here.
Wait. You're going too fast. Let's take it one by one.
Sure.
Locally.
Yeah, locally.
It means in here.
In here.
And he says 3D printed.
3D printed. So,
meaning what?
So 3D printed because meaning we actually design it ourselves. Then we have a printer.
There's a 3D printing machine.
Yeah, there's a 3D.
Somewhere.
Yeah, so we have a 3D printer machine in Ghana here that we use to print the robot after we are done designing.
So what is this supposed to do?
So this is a kit. It's a robotics kit, and it
means that you can use this to do other stuff.
So based on what you want to use it to do, and I think one unique aspect about it, because it's a 3D printed, and that gives the student the chance to be innovative, to create their own part, their own pieces in addition to this, to improve on it. So it means that if you have this, you want to even convert into Tambots. It's easy for you to convert. If maybe you want it to solve a specific problem, you just have to look at it and you design your own part and addition, print it and attach it.
How much is this?
Currently, a kit is costing 2,000 Ghana cedi. Yes.
Okay. 20 million those days.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is, if you compare with other robotics kits that we have in the market, this is way cheaper to the other robotics kits, and it also have more advantage as well.
In the mind of the average Ghanaian, a robot is like Robocop. Huge, big. I mean, but these are small, right? These are the building blocks of the big ones.
Yes. So these are small, but the whole point is whatever skills you learn from this is the same skills.
Exactly.
Nothing changes. The coding, the designing, every single aspect, the critical thinking, the problems of every single thing that you go through, the process that you go through to come up with this is the same process you go through to even build a giant robot.
Okay. So when we say robotics, Joshua, what is robotics?
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joshua Pokwajaman, and I'm the president for Ghana STEM Network and IoT Network Hub Africa. Now, when we talk about robotics, I like to talk about history, but today I'm not going to do history today.
Oh, help us. History will help if he has to.
Because today we're talking about robotics. And I mean, years ago, people would not be talking about robotics. Probably maybe talking about the internet and computers. Because at the time, that was their big thing. Today, we're looking at AI, robotics, and all that. We're talking about it because it is what is happening today, called the fourth industrial revolution. Earlier, the tech tips that we had, it talks about robot taxi. Now, the developed countries have moved from just building robots to putting robots in everything. So today we have robots in a car called driverless cars that can drive themselves. But then when we come to robotics as a subject or as a topic, we're basically looking at the designing of a robot, the manufacturing of a robot, the assembly of a robot, and the programming of a robot to achieve specific tasks. Now, when we talk about tasks are things human beings do day to day. Some are repetitive. So you wake up, you do the same thing, and that's the task you do every day. These are tasks that we want to make sure that we can automate that. Machine can be able to do this specific tasks that do not require so much human intelligence, so much thinking or reasoning to be able to get it done. And these are things that we're looking at automating it. And the process of automating them is where robotics come in. Because when you want to make something automated, they need to put in some mechanism that could make it automated.
Interesting.
Then when we talk about robotics, we have different sectors of them. So we have the robots that looks like car, we have the humanoid robots, we have machinery that automation. So somebody could say your washing machine is a robot.
Okay.
Reason being that it does some specific tasks for you and it can be automated. You don't necessarily have to be around to get it to work. But when we talk about robotics in the context of engineering, we are looking at being able to automate some of the works that we do in the industries, in the home, in the environment, in the farm by using machines. Now the anatomy of robotics include motors. So just like human, we have our motors that help us to move. So within our knees, our arms, our waist, there are motors, balls and joints that these bones fit to. In robotic design, we use what we call motors to be able to move these parts. And we have what we call actuators. We have sensors. We have the main controller, which works like the human brain.
Okay.
All put together with the programming and a series of instructions that you want the robot to be able to execute. Just like the human body. Once you have all this put into a machine, it's then become a robot.
Interesting. That's a robot. So washing. You know, I want to believe what you said, and I believe what you said. So let me tell you this story. So I'm in Johannesburg. I'm going from one place to another. I'm going back home, I think so. And I'm in a public transport with my friend. And we're supposed to stop at a traffic light. And he tells the driver he'll stop at a robot.
Okay.
So I'm Ghana boy. I'm looking for a robot. And like I told you, Robocop kind of huge. So I'm excited. I'm looking for a robot. The guy gets to the traffic light. He gets down. And I'm like, where's the robot? And he said, that's a robot. I said, no, that's a traffic light. He said, no, that's a robot.
Yeah.
You know, and so in local Joburg slang, they call traffic light robot. So it was funny for me, right?
Yeah.
Until my SA friend comes one time and says, listen, originally when they came to town, those days, don't forget, traffic was controlled by human beings.
That's right.
Stop here, move here,
That's
car here.
right.
And so when these lights with red, amber, green comes out, they originally called them robotic traffic controller.
Okay.
And they just call it robot. Yeah, so that's why they call it. I said, okay. In Ghana, we call them traffic lights, man. You know, so you're absolutely right. I mean, it's about automation.
That's right.
So, in Ghana now, are there many of you who are into this robotics thing? And in what are they in schools? When I go to the technical universities, will I see them and all that? Because you and I, Joshua, have had a conversation about education and robotic space and all that. What is the level, I mean, of robotics in this country?
Okay, so I will share some submission. George will also add on to it. So I think it all started with one Ghanaian engineer scientist called Dr. Ashite, who works at NASA.
Interesting.
And he's known to have been the lead engineer on the Mars rover. That's a robot that is carried on Mars.
Okay.
So it was one of our black stars who envisioned the need for Ghana education to involve robotics. So they started the Ghana Robotics Academy Foundation, choreographed.
Oh, wow.
And what he did was that he was able to use his influence and resources to sponsor some schools with the learning kits. So the ones that mostly used at the time was the Lego kits by a US company called Lego Robotics. So this sort of started the whole evolution of robotics in Ghana education. So this started at the senior high school level where they started clubs and they had sponsorship with the kids. And then he also teamed up with some Ghanaians who are also working here to provide training to these students and prepare them for competition globally. So that's how it started. Then gradually we started getting a number of the schools joining up. And today we have a lot of our senior high schools join the program. And every year they do the local competition. They pick the best, and the best will go represent Ghana globally. And out of this, we have a number of senior high schools going to win global competition to beat the whole world and bring this competition back to Ghana.
Ghanaians.
We had the likes of the Methodist girls at Manfi winning one of this competition. We have Prempeh, College also winning some among other schools. So that sort of started this whole revolution. One thing I've learned or have realized about the impact of this work is that the challenge has been that when they go through the program on school, mostly it's run as a club. So you still have to do your program and write your academic exams, but still commit some time for club activities. And those students who went to the program, some have been able to excel to even go outside to get scholarship through the program to study at the university. Others too have stayed and then had continued with their skills that they acquired. One thing I've noticed that we are all a product of that program.
Okay.
Like the program inspired us. We got involved in the program one way or the other, either to be instructors, to be judged at the competition, or even picking up the students who went through the program to team up with and work with them. And I believe this has been the foundation for the robotics program in Ghana at the moment. And today, as we speak, we have so many organizations running robotics program in the country across all the regions of Ghana from the private perspective, not from government. And I think this is what I'm really proud of from how far we've come, and happy to see that today we are also moving from not just importing all the robotics kits, which are very expensive. Lego costs not less than $500. The other competitor is Vex, also costs not less than $700. And the average Ghanaian school cannot even afford that, right? So I'm happy to see that through this work that Dr. Ashite started, some of us has been inspired to start figuring out how we can also create our local robotics kits, our local STEM learning kits, our local tools that can help us be able to still achieve the same objectives that we're looking at.
So there are robotic clubs around?
Yes, almost every school, senior high school, have a robotics club. And today it's even coming down to the junior high school as well. Yep.
What would a typical club activity look like?
I will let George take that.
George, have you been in a club like that?
Yes, so I have been in a club like that. I have also served as a trainer since 2016.
Interesting.
Yes.
Where was that club? What club is that?
So I have actually trained at the Sadell College. I have trained Methodist girls. I have trained Brig girls.
He's a master trainer.
I've actually very number of schools across the country. So I think that's also inspired me in terms of coming up with an initiative like the Ghana Robotics Competition. So every club, what we do have is we do have like a weekends training for the students, whereby we teach the students coding. So we have different coding program, that's program language that we teach them. We have, let's say, the block code, we have the MicroPython, C++, and these are the various coding language that we actually train them on. We also train on how building of the robots and also preparing them for competitions. Some also even we encourage them to come up with innovation solutions and all that, just to encourage them, to show them that whatever they are seeing out there, they can actually also do it. And I think one thing that I've really noticed in terms of the student that actually join the robotics club, they becomes very, very good when it comes to the elective, example like the science and maths. This is because whatever they are learning in terms of when it comes to the physics, when it comes to the mathematics, whatever they are learning in the classroom, when they come to their club, they're able to put that into practice.
Okay.
So example like geometry, we have to apply it on the robot. When it comes to, let's say, gradient of a straight line, we have to apply it onto the robot. When it comes to calculus, we have to apply it to the robot. So like for the line following, PID and all that. So these are all, even how to let the robot stand. So finding, let's say, a sector of a circle, we use that same formula to even help the robot to turn. So we realize that whatever they are learning in the classroom, they get the chance to actually put that into practice. So they get to really understand and appreciate whatever they are learning in the classroom.
Interesting. It's fast approaching 9:30, and we have in the studios Mr. George Safo, who is the founder and CEO of Firefly IO, and Joshua Pokwajima is the president of IoT Network Hub. And we're talking about robotics in Ghana. We'll come to the competition. There is a competition that we'll have a big talk about it. Okay, so I've just been, so that's the Dr. Ashite Trebi Olenu.
Yes.
Okay, he's the doc you were talking about. Interesting. So he's best all of you in this thing. Fantastic.
It's our inspiration.
Nice. So yes, 9:30. Let's talk about the competition. Ghana Robotics Competition 2024. Give me a history of this. I mean, where did the robotics competition start from?
Okay, so the robotics competition, that's the Ghana Robotics Competition, started last year.
Okay.
So last year was our median edition, whereby we have about 25 schools across the country. We actually we bring students from the middle school, we bring students from the high school, and students from the tertiary. So we are not leaving anyone behind. So that is where we started. Every year we select a challenge around one of the sustainable development goals. So last year was around climate change and water and sanitation. So there we develop a solution around it, and the student will have to come and solve problems within these areas. So let's say when you talk about the climate, we're looking about agriculture. So whereby the student have to come up with a robot design that will be able to help plug seeds, send it to the warehouse and all that, make sure that they're able to do the packaging, the harvesting and all that, so using the robot. And this is like a real life application, so they get to really understand, and the knowledge that they even get from there, they're able to apply it in their schools and or let me say in their daily lives also.
So you know, you just touched on something very important. Robotics can actually help in the SDGs. That's what we're saying.
Yes.
Right.
So this year's competition is touching on
Water and sanitation.
water and sanitation. So what, you gave the schools prior notice?
Yes, we
So
get.
how long ago did you know that they are supposed to come with a solution to water and sanitation?
Okay, so this year's challenge was actually released around February, mid of
that's
February.
a long time. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where and we also provide them training as well. So every school, we assign an instructor to go there to train them, because we have some key areas that the students have to be prepared on. So example, like the 3D modeling, they need to know how to 3D model and design their own robot part and all that. We teach them the coding as well, and also really help them to understand what the competition is about. So we take them through this process even before they come for the competition.
Okay. So how many schools again?
This year, we are having around 65 schools across the country. And
They are all coming to Accra.
They are all coming to Accra next week. They are all,
65 schools.
yes.
Right.
And we have around getting to 80 teams. So some schools are actually representing
Yeah.
2 teams. So we have about 80 teams coming across the country. And
That's large.
Yeah.
yes.
That's
So-
a large guy.
And
So
this,
far,
this
this
is our
is-
second year. So
this
you
is
can
our
imagine
second
what
year.
happened this year.
And all the schools have agreed. They are sending their people. They are
Yes.
coming in their buses.
they are coming.
It's a one-day event.
It's actually a 2-day event.
So are they going to sleep? That's why I want to.
All right, so we are providing accommodation thanks to our sponsors and our partners. We are providing our accommodation to the students and the participants and the patrons that will come with them as well, even to our volunteers as well at University of Ghana. So they will be lodged at University of Ghana. They will report on 29th, or their schools report on 29th. Then the program will start on 30th and 31st.
Are you kidding me?
We're not.
You bring in 60-something schools into Legon campus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are they going to sleep?
So they are going to sleep at Legon.
The
Okay,
hostels.
so
The
there are
hostels.
hostels there that they will
Yeah,
sleep.
that they will sleep.
And then
We
so
provide them feeding and everything throughout their
somebody's giving you a lot of money, yeah? Yeah, because you're going to feed them
it's-
for
it's-
3
it's-
nights.
Well, there are some things that need to be done. Even means we have to sell whatever we have to make it happen. I think you should know that we, the youths, are ready to build our nation, regardless.
Yeah.
And I think we believe that technology, robotics, AI is the future, and we have to do whatever we have to do to make it happen. Again, we have some good partners who are sponsoring our work,
We'll come to them.
and,
I'm
we are
interested.
happy to see how far they've been able to push us to this extent. Yeah.
Wow. So day one of the competition, all these students come with what? They are robots that they have prepared or what?
Yes,
Yeah.
they
And
are.
they will show us what the robots will do to help in water and sanitation.
Yeah, so we have the challenge designed for them. This year for the tertiary institution, we have 2 main challenge for them. We have the autonomous aspect, whereby the robot have to perform the tasks by itself. So they need to program the robot using artificial intelligence to be able to detect a color of a container, take the container and send it to transport it to its warehouse without any
Human intervention.
intervention. And they have 1 minute 30 seconds to complete this. So
So you're going to pour rubbish somewhere in a rubbish dump.
So
or so.
we have a field whereby the field, we have a truck on the field, and we have containers on the field as well. So the robot needs to move, and when it sees the container, the robot needs to be able to know this container is green. So I need to send it to the green warehouse, or this container is red, so I need to send it to the warehouse.
Okay.
And they have about 2 containers on the field. They have just 1 minute 30 seconds to be able to complete all this.
These are miniature robots, we need to state, right?
That's
Not
right.
real life huge robots
that's
carrying trucks and all that. These are all miniature. It is when you are done with a miniature and you have mastered that, you can now go to the big one.
That's
So
right.
we need to state it before people should come to Legon expecting Robocops and things walking around Legon campus. Okay, so tertiary, they are expected to do this.
Yeah.
Then what about the rest?
So we have the high school as well, whereby they are also supposed to program. They also have 2 different challenge. One is also the autonomous aspect, whereby they have to program the robot to also follow a particular line without any human intervention. It has to follow the line and stop by itself at the end of the line without any help. Then we have the manual aspect, whereby we have it's actually that particular challenge is focused on water. So we are talking about water recycling. We are talking about water harvesting, whereby they have to harvest water and store it at the appropriate place. We also have whereby we are saying that there is a faucet that has been break somewhere. So they have to use the robot to fix it. So by using it, they have to control the robot to be able to turn on a certain machine to be able to indicate that the faucet has been fixed and all that. And this particular machine, they have about 3 minutes to complete this. Yes, and they are going to, I think one unique thing about Ghana Robotics competition is also about the alliance team that we have. So with the alliance team, we are going to pair them with, so for example, like we take a school from Ebri Girls, then we take a school from, let me say Opokuwari. Then we put them together. They have to now work as a team. Although these people are coming from different schools, they don't know themselves, they don't know each other, but they still have to work together as a team to be able to get to the finals.
Interesting. And so these kids are doing all these magic stuff and all that, moving machines here and there. I'm interested that you're actually handling water and sanitation, because there's a huge rubbish dump somewhere around Pong area that must be moved.
So let me talk about the tech league. So the tech league is also focused, that is the middle school. They are focused on also.
What do you mean middle school? Are there middle schools?
Junior high schools.
Junior high schools.
Ah, okay, all right.
Yes. Yeah, all the junior high school, but we still have some teams in primary that are still participating.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Junior
Yes, and their challenges focus on sanitation. So whereby we have items that represent as a trash, whereby we have just scattered it around a certain part of the field. They need to be able to, so those items has been indicated as maybe metal, organic, and maybe plastic. Also, they need to control the robot to sort out those rubbish and send it to the appropriate bin. So at the end of the day, we are going to see how many bins, how many trash that you have been, let's say, organic trash that you have been able to deposit in the organic bin. So you have to make sure that organic trash goes to the organic bin, paper trash goes to the paper bin, as same as, let's say, metal trash also goes to the metal bin. And they have to do all this by themselves.
Amazing stuff. 30th and 31st.
Right.
So what is the big picture, Joshua? What are you people looking to achieve?
Well, remember when George was speaking, he touched about key critical challenges we face as a nation. Last year, focus was on agriculture and climate change. And, the average Ghanaian is not interested in agriculture. They don't want to be a farmer.
Okay.
But if you can tell them they can design robots to cultivate, to harvest, to do all that, they'll be interested.
Okay.
So one is education. How we can integrate technology in education, make it exciting, make it fun, so that students would use that to solve problems within our community. Second, when we look at sanitation for this year, the WASH, we're talking about harvesting water from the atmosphere,
Okay.
right? We're talking about water storage, detecting leakage, and be able to address it. We're talking about segregation of waste. These are critical issues we have even in our homes, our individual homes. We don't mostly do segregation. But if we start to make this, gamify it, make it fun, make it in a way of robotics where students can learn thinking they are having fun, but unconsciously they are being educated that when they are home, and they are creating waste, there's a need to segregate them. So for me, I think the most important thing is education, not schooling. Being able to educate our young people using robotics education and challenging them to solve problems they face in the society through the competition. For me, I think that's the end goal for this program. One thing we're also looking at is that you see the robotics kits are made in Ghana. They are not imported like the others, where after a competition, you come home and you want to build one, you have to import again.
Okay.
Once they go through this program, they learn how to design their own robotics parts. They learn how to assemble it. They learn how to build it. They learn how to program it. They learn how to use it to solve problems. What do you think will happen when they get home and they see a problem? They start thinking about how they can build their own to do the same. That's the end goal of what we're trying to do. The impact we seek is that whatever educational experience, skills they acquired, wherever they find themselves in our society, they should be able to figure out problems around and start creating solutions for it. I think this is what the youth of Ghana needs to be doing. And I think this is what we want to achieve.
What kind of help would escalate Ghana robotics to the next level?
Okay.
George, you go first.
All right. So thank you for that. So I think when it comes to robotics education in Ghana, we actually need a lot of help. This is especially when it comes to the resources. That's the most key thing. So the resources, we need a lot of resources. And I think one approach is by making sure that we're able to provide something ourselves. And I think the approach of using the locally kit is one of the key. So if you're able to make sure that we have the locally kit, even across a lot of schools, a lot of individuals, that will really help to promote the robotics education in Ghana. And also, we also need a lot of support from companies, from the from the government, from private institutions, and all that, to be able to come together for us to be able to push the robotics education in Ghana. Yes. I think I'll also leave it to George to also add something.
Well, for me to add to that, I think it's in 3 ways, if I should put it. PPPC. So, public.
Right.
PPCP.
Okay.
So, the public sector, that's government support. Government support in the sense of policy direction, right? Because in as much as we want to make sure every school have access to it, accessing in public schools is very challenging, because if it's not aligned with what the government is addressing or expecting, it becomes difficult too. We're looking at...
Okay, so still on government.
Okay.
Before we go to the P and the C and the P again,
Right.
the first P, of the 2 big parties, one is saying they would teach 1 million Ghanaian youth to code. So 1 million coders.
Okay.
Another party said they would teach 1 million Ghanaian youth in digital skills.
Okay.
So it means you will already sorted out. There are going to be a lot of 1 million Ghanaian youth knowing how to code, man. Does that not give you some kind of excitement looking forward into the coming years?
Well, we've been in this space for over a decade now. We also get to understand that government comes and go.
Okay.
But then I believe that nations are built by the people working with government, not necessarily the other way around. So the people on the ground who are patriotic of the nation need to understand that this is where we want to go as a country. And then we collectively work with the government, whichever government will be in power. We collectively work with government to make sure we achieve that goal as a nation.
Okay.
So any of them, whoever comes, we're already working, and we're happy to work with them.
Yeah, I like that.
The second P, if I should talk
Let's
about,
continue
is the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're talking about youth unemployment, and I think the major gap between academia and industry is there's no alignment.
Always been.
And this gap keep becoming bigger and bigger. Hence, the reason why we have a lot of graduates who are unemployed. So working with private sector support could also help us align what the expectations are. We could design challenges around industries. For example, assuming the mining industry or the oil industry have bigger issues, can we put this challenge as a competition for the young brains to crack it for them? And can we get support from them to ensure that we can be able to empower these young people to solve these kind of problems? When we talk about agriculture, private sectors in agriculture, what are your major challenges? Can you throw that challenge to the young minds that are hungry for creativity, innovation, to come up with solutions that can address the issue? Are they willing to support such initiative to ensure that we can create solutions for them? So I think that's the next P. And to be able to achieve this program going mainstream in Ghana, we need the support of the private sector. And they're also mandated to give to support impact programs through their corporate social responsibility. So I think one of the innovative ways to support programs that can go a long way to impact the nation as a whole. The next C is civil society. Civil society are religious bodies. There are a lot of them, and they're very big.
Of course.
And they have a lot of young people in their churches and mosques and all that. So I think religious bodies, non-for-profit organizations, the development partners, I would want to put all that in the C. And I think they also have a very big role to play. The chiefs, our local chiefs and our local leaders all have a role to play in the C to ensure that collectively we can make that a possibility. And the last piece, all the three working together, partnership.
Amazing, fantastic partnership.
Yeah,
you've really broken it down well for us.
And even with the Ghana Robotics competition, as George mentioned, we have about 65 schools. It means we need to employ 65 youths to be teaching in all the schools. So this program alone is already creating 65 jobs just for training. Not to talk about production. To produce this, we need to set up a mini manufacturing to be able to produce at a larger quantity at a lower cost.
Yeah,
so that every school can be
economies of scale.
Exactly. So the potential to create jobs is there. The potential to boost our economy is there. The potential to provide quality education is there. But if we have able to get this PPCP working collectively, then we can be able to transform our nation and push the nation forward.
Amazing, simply amazing. I'm impressed. So with all of these, if you were to, there's something that has become a personal battle for me, where I want every Ghanaian to be thinking 2057.
Okay.
Everywhere I meet you, even at home, I'm worrying everybody.
Why 57? I'm curious.
Because Ghana will be 100 by then.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
That's 33 years from today.
Oh, okay.
And that is 8 elections from
this
one. So there's no time.
Yep. So what I like to put it is add 37 years to your age today and see how old you'll be.
Yeah.
What kind of Ghana you want to see at the time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you that. I'm the one doing the interview, man. I'm the one doing the interview. Robotics.
Yeah.
In 33 years.
Okay.
What would Ghana look like if your dreams of pushing Ghana robotics to the next level comes to pass? Let's say we have a magic wand.
Yeah.
We have a president who loves Joshua and George so much that he said, I will help you achieve your dream. What would that dream look like in 2057? What would this Accra, let's take only Accra. How will Accra look like?
Accra, I think there will be a lot of changes. There will be a lot of innovators. There will be a lot of job opportunities. And I think Accra will become like the hub of innovation and robotics when it comes to Africa.
Okay.
And even the world. And even up to now, when it comes to robotics, even most of the African countries, when you go to them, they still, even today,
they look up to us.
They look up to us. They
this Ghana.
Yes, this Ghana.
Yes.
This one. I remember PAC, when we went for PAC, they're like, you people, you are smart already. You people, you are good. So next time, leave the competition for us.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So this tells you that even up to now, the little that we are doing, you can see the progress and the impact. And if you're able to get the chance and the opportunity, they are going to do way better than this. And I'm sure by then you should see electric cars, self-driving cars, a lot of automation in the agriculture aspect. In Accra. And you should see a lot of them even around, made by Ghanaians locally.
It should come to pass.
Wow.
It should.
We have 5 minutes to leave the studio.
Okay.
Let me throw this thing to you, because I've seen Joshua do something about it, talk about it.
Yeah.
Smart cities.
Yeah.
Smart cities and robotics.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up the conversation on that.
Okay.
What if you had the mandate? What would a smart city look like? Where would it be? What would it look like? Paint that picture for us.
All right. So I still like to touch on the 33 years to come, including my smart city concept.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in 33 years, that's when Ghana is 100. I personally want to see this happening, and I'm working on that. I want to see a smart city built in Ghana, maybe Accra. I always believe that Ghana is the gateway to Africa.
Yep.
And we are the beacon of hope for the continent.
That's what
and
they
we
say.
always have to set up the module. I believe that's what Nkrumah wanted to do. Create a template of what an African country could be, then others could learn from us. So in the next 33 years to come, I want to see a Ghana that is vibrant when it comes to technological innovation and research. So we are harnessing our water bodies. By harnessing, meaning we have developed the intelligence in our water bodies. We're able to have submarine developed here in Ghana for water bodies, defenses and all that. When it comes to agricultural research, we've adopted the modernized way of growing crops, especially not with sunlight or soil or environmental factors. Being able to grow even cassava in your bedroom.
You see,
if I should
this
put
is a
it.
very important point because Galamsey is already taking your soil away. So if you're going to do farming without soil, it's better because the
Yes.
thing is already getting messed
So
up.
these are also the challenges that, for me, I see we're going to see the consequences of them in the decades to come. And it's very important that we empower the young people with the engineering, the science, the skills that would help them to be able to innovate around the problems. Problems, humans, we're always going to create them. But having the ability to be able to innovate around and come up with a solution regardless is what is really critical. I also want to see space travel happening in Ghana by the time we're 100 years. That means we're going to build a space company. We already have one of our partners doing that, called the Ghana Aerospace, Galaxy Aerospace, already working on building rockets going to space. So we're going to see that.
Wait, don't go too fast. There's a company in Ghana planning that. They're
Yes,
called
I
Galaxy.
can get him
Yeah,
for
Galaxy.
you on the show. Then you can talk more about
I would
it.
love to talk to him.
Yes, I'll talk to him. So what we are doing as IoT, we're building an ecosystem, not for today, but for the future. And what we do is that we align with young people who have wild dreams and initiatives that we believe that our country needs for the future. We bring them together. And George has been working with me for the past years. And through that, he's been able to also come out with locally designed. So we have a number of young people in the country that we work together collectively to ensure that we can push our nation forward. So by the time Ghana is 100 years, we're going to see space travel. We're going to see driverless cars. We're going to have anything you order delivered to you by drone to your doorsteps. All these things you're going to have it. And there's one important thing I want to share. There's a technology called genetic engineering where we can edit the human DNA, cut off a disease, and the person will be well. That means if you have sickle cell, we can heal you. If you have cancer, we can heal you. Among others. So a lot is happening, but let me limit to the few. We just leave the rest to the future. Thank you.
Amazing. I look at you and I'm asking myself, it's like you are ahead of your time. You're talking about stuff that people normally are not too in tune with. Do you ever come across obstacles that makes you feel like, Charlie, this thing said we had too much. Let's go do something. George especially.
Okay.
Yeah, challenges are a lot. I always say that I see challenges as a mansion in front of me, but I think one thing that keeps me going is because the purpose and also the goal that I have set around me. So that is one thing that motivates me and encourages me. I think there's a lot of challenges. There's even generally there's a lot of challenges because trying to actually bring students about
together.
60 schools all together. We are talking about, and majority of them are government schools.
Yes.
These are students that can, or schools that can actually pay for, let's say, their service. So you need to find a way to make sure that they still come, they still get the skills, they still get the impact that you want to make. You get, and it's a very big thing.
Yeah,
it's a very big, and the challenge that comes with it. Sometimes you feel like giving up, but as I said,
it needs to be done.
It needs to be done because if you don't do it,
nobody's going to do it.
so it has to be done.
George Safo, founder and CEO, Firefly IO, and Joshua Pokwajiman returning to the studios. He's the president of IoT Network Hub and also STEM-Aid, right?
That's
Something,
right.
yeah, amazing. I won't forget that one. Ghana Robotics Competition 2024 is coming up. The theme is Sustainable Impact. It's at the GCB Hall, University of Ghana, Legon, 30th and 31st August 2024, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The students are arriving on the 29th, so 30th and 31st. Pass through, help them out. It is important that you do that as well. it is critical. Yes, George, you want to say something before?
Yeah, so yeah, I want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Synthes Tank,
Okay.
for being with us for since last year and this year, and they have been, I think, amazing supporter since the beginning, because they believe in their vision and the aim. We want to also say a special thank you to University of Ghana School of Engineering, and a very special thank you to Professor Elsie, who is actually our chairperson and has been our support since the beginning. Elsie Kaufman, Science and Maths Quiz.
Okay.
Yeah, so we say a very thank you also to our other sponsors. We are also saying thank you to Flora, Top Choco. We are saying thank you to Agro Kings. We are saying a very big thank you to Silver Star for supporting us and getting or creating the chance for us to bring all these people together. Also very special thanks to our partners. We are talking about IoT for their contribution, their support. We are talking about Cedar Freak. We also say a very special thank you to Abacus. So actually the locally robotics kit is designed in partnership with Abacus and Firefly IO. So so Abacus Robotics. So we say very special for his contribution at the beginning to the end, and to all our volunteers. We can't do this without you, our instructors, some traveling all the way from Accra to Kumasi, Accra to Wa, to just go and teach. And it's not easy. But
I know. You pulled it off. Congratulations in advance. Ghana Robotics GRC 2024, Ghana Robotics competition is coming on. This is 30th and 31st August. Yes. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming through. All too soon. My time is up. I have to leave. The news is up next. When we come back tomorrow, we're doing the Thanks Day edition, as always. Thank you so much for being a part.